Hello and welcome back to the RxCraft server. I am Amaros, and we have some stuff today. We need to go and actually finish filling our sheep farm and getting our storage for that sorted out. And we got a few housekeeping items to do with our quarry, clean up and whatnot, just to show you kind of the whole cycle for those. And I think we're gonna have to find a few miscellaneous items. I mean, we just have some routine maintenance, some additional devices we need to build or tweak and reorganize. If you see behind me here, we actually do have a little bit of greenery here to our front room. Yeah, some vines coming down. Oh, rose flower outside. And been using these little tree leaves here to kind of give us some color, make it so not quite so drab in here. I kind of do like the intermittent stone brick and smooth stone look. As long as we don't have any cobble in there, I think we're good. Yes, and hopefully the leaves won't catch on fire from our ceiling. Since our little centerpiece here in the middle hasn't, I think we're going to be pretty good. Well, let's go ahead and get to it. Hopefully we got enough time to fit everything in. Well, fitting these guys in is a very long, arduous process. And I'm having to breed a couple more that I missed in my preparation work. There we go. That's all the yellows. So I need one more red. Oh, that wasn't good. I wanted him. Oh well. Alright, looks like we got all those guys clear. So it's just down to these guys left. That guy needs to grow up and grow into green. I need one more red and two more blue. So we're almost there. So we're going through and setting our colors for our caches. These are actually a thermal expansion item that is very nice. It basically takes the place of a stack of chests and hoppers, and these are the more expensive ones, the hardened caches that can hold 160,000 of the item on the front. You have to be very careful with these when you set them, because I have not found a way to change what they are set to, and so it seems like it's a permanent setting. So yeah, I got a couple of wasted ones over in my base because I right-clicked with the item and it set it, and I don't know how to get rid of it. So if you know, leave a comment. But I have these and I hopper out of them into chests because you can't interact with these caches directly. They're just a median storage unit. So hopefully we'll have enough storage to just keep this running all the time. And at 160,000 colored wool blocks, I don't think we're going to really need much more than that. Unfortunately, these hoppers only feed out ever so slowly, but hopefully this is enough blocks for any one project that we need to just pull out of quickly. So I'm working in the back here. Let's see where I'm at. Okay, I got these lined up right. So in the back here, I have a golden pipe coming from our sheep farm there. Sandstone pipe just so it won't connect to our hopper. Feeds into a diamond pipe for sorting. I got cobble to each side and then stone off the back and blah blah blah, just to kind of get it to not connect and make the wrong kind of loops here. Let's see, we are here, so black is the blue there, so yellow is that, and then we want to set green, then blue, then yellow, and then we'll have this last set of 4 to do. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll put some iron in here, make sure our shears are getting created, flip this thing on, and we'll start watching these things get sheared. Alright, we have shears going in, and as you can see, we have colored blocks coming out. Just making their rounds until they hit the spot where they're being sorted. You can see this one's going to go there. Yep, those two go there. If there's anything that comes down the pipe that is not in any of the filters, it's just going to pop out the top here and pretty much turn it into an entity and despawn. So if something happens out here, yeah, I'm not that concerned about it. I don't see anything getting generated out of here except for maybe mutton if you're in 1.8 in the event something dies. So, or if you drop something, you have to get pretty close to throw it in. But I did notice that these are not distributing as evenly as I would have hoped. But I think we'll be alright, since each lane is getting its own pair. Yeah, this one seems to be favored for some reason, but it does distribute to the other three over time, which is why this one has the comparator to stop the others. I probably should work out something a little bit better for this. The Ender IO piping will likely do a round robin, I hope, so we can distribute it exactly evenly. But until then, worst case, I just pull some shears out of here, throw it into that chest, and it'll redistribute through the rest of them. And we do have these hoppers for a buffer, as well as these chests. This is the only one that matters. And I have a sheep stuck, so I'm gonna free him real quick, and I think we'll be done. We have our nice little color coding here, and we're starting to fill up with wool. And these caches are not even remotely close to full, and probably never will be. But when they do, we're gonna start seeing this bar light up. But I have a feeling we're gonna have to AFK for a very, very long time for that to happen. So let me go ahead and free him. So we've been idling for maybe an hour and a half, and looks like we've gotten about 2 stacks of each color. Looks like some less than others, but 1.5 stacks to almost 2 stacks. I think we got a pretty good throughput on this. I think the shears are actually doing pretty good too. The graphics are kind of glitched right now on the autonomous activator, but you can see we got a full stack of shears there. I would assume that these are close to the same quantity, and we can always throw in more iron here to make more. Looks like we do have this chest backed up with some shears, so it is not feeding any more into our creation device, but we can at least stack the odds in our favor. Yeah, that's kind of full. Looks like that one has a decent amount. This one not so much. And that one's empty. So dispersion's kind of mediocre. Probably what I will want to do, maybe put a hopper out here to collect any pop-outs. I don't know. With this thing turning off our creation down there, we shouldn't exceed the capacity of our chests, at least not very frequently. And with a iron farm, it won't be such a big concern anyway. So I think we'll have a pretty good layout here. Well, guess we'll have to figure out what project we're gonna do next, now that this one is complete and we have colored blocks to play with. Oh, come on. There we go. One more. So we are here farming a little bit of withers and blaze rods. As you can see, we got quite the stack of stuff. And I think we are ready to do another beacon. So I'm going to maybe pick up one more head and we're gonna go do that. Alright, I have just come back from killing a couple more wither bosses, and so now we have 2 beacons to go and place in our beacon area. And what I did is, right here, I conveniently came pretty close to where the beacon was going to be. And so we have very easy access to come in here and set some new beacons down. So let's go ahead and figure out what we want. Now we have our haste buff from there, and we will want, let's see, this one should have, okay. So we probably want our regen, but let's see, there's strength, jump boost, speed, resistance. Well, we get speed from our leggings and jump from our boots, but let's go ahead and do that. I'm using gold to set these because, well, we simply have a whole lot of it. So let's do speed. Okay, so we got our jump boost and our regen here. Speed and regen. You know, something that would probably do pretty good over at the gold farm would be strength and regen. So maybe that's something I can look into doing for us. Let's see. Okay, so we do have regen, jump boost, haste, and speed. So now I have absolutely no clue how this is going to affect me, whether it stacks with what I got already on my equipment, or if it just is superfluous. So let's go ahead and go up and give it a try. Alright, we are in a place that I can test this. Now, our boots, I did spend a terribly long amount of time over at our experience farm, aka the gold farm, and I have pretty well enchanted everything we have here. We have looting 3 on our ender, unbreaking, knockback. We got respiration, projectile protection, just a whole ton of updates here. And I've also got these all nice and leveled up. I still need 30 levels per item to get that ender based capacitor there. It's going to be really expensive to do, but I'm just going to have to swallow it and spend some time and do it. But we do have our jump 3 on our boots and our speed 3 on our legs, so we already had a pretty decent speed and jump boost. But now that we got this one and speed 2 here from our beacon, I actually think that it is stacking. I mean, I am just walking right now. If we run, we go so fast we start to actually jitter and lag a little bit. You can see the screen kind of shaking just a little there. So I think it actually stacks. And then when I jump with my triple jump, we go, I'd say almost, what's that, 10 blocks? I mean, that is crazy. I am quite impressed. We did spend quite a bit of time to get these beacons, so it's definitely well worth the effort. And I think this is going to make us do pretty well, especially that haste 2 there, and we throw that together with a nice little efficiency 4 pickaxe or something. I'm sure we're going to absolutely demolish blocks. Just demolish them. So, unfortunately, I don't clear cut below here, so we're not really going to be able to take advantage of the haste for those kinds of things. But for clearing out something like our sheep farm, man, it definitely will be of a benefit. One thing I have done since we were here last, though, is I went and put one of each color of wool here in front of its respective chest. Oops. Not a good thing there. There we go. And we have all of our wool in the chests, so we could just quickly mass select like so. Definitely the main reason why I have these chests in the first place, because otherwise we could just hit the cache with a crescent hammer to extract the items, and then we would just take what extra and just click it on into the item there. I do have a chest here for returns, so that you just throw your spares in here in mass and they just automatically come over here and get sorted. Once these chests get full, the caches will start showing the item block on them again. But I did go and replace all the hoppers with Ender IO pipes to automatically extract from the cache and put into the box, since that's the only way I could get it to dump all of the cache items into the chest if I picked them all up in bulk and there was any left in the cache. Hoppers wouldn't do it right now, and it's most likely because of the severe beta stage of these mods for 1.7.10. So I'm expecting them to be fixed and have that compatibility added with time. I'm sure the developers are spending a lot of their time just working out some of the new features like these caches, and you know, they have a life too. Oh, there was something. But they're doing a wonderful job, and we certainly appreciate them for working on these mods and allowing us to use these kinds of benefits. So let's go ahead and find the next thing. We're swimming around in our quarries, and you can see just all of the minerals in the walls, and so I'm just going through and picking out some of the better ones, like the diamonds that we missed, and just cleaning up after this, you know. Just a lot of little things just under the bedrock here. I've been mainly getting things like this, which is just redstone. So just doing a little bit of the housekeeping. Well, there's some of that. Let's clean up. Oh, some redstone over here and over there. Now, I do have the respiration 3 on my helm, so it's helping me stay underwater for a lot longer. And then I just find little air pockets by cutting into the walls like that, and that recharges me for the next little bit, and I can just get some more. So we do have another quarry that's going pretty much on the other side of that wall. Yep, there it is. So we're by no means being idle. There we go. Oh, some more ferrous. Lots of ferrous right here. That's good. We need that. Alright. So I'm just going to keep going through and cleaning this out. Just wanted to show you kind of some upkeep maintenance to make sure you get the most out of your quarries, because it just gives you this large cutaway here. And yes, I do have my night vision on. That is granted by my helm. If you are running vanilla, you can just make yourself a night vision potion instead. You can make one that lasts for 8 minutes, and that should give you plenty of time to do exactly what I'm doing here, but you wouldn't have a quarry if you're in vanilla. So if you don't have Ender IO and have this wonderful dark helm, then yeah, that's what you'll have to do. So we have made some changes to our machine room. As you can see, I've basically reversed the flow. Instead of coming from a chest back here and feeding to a stack of chests over here, it now flows from a chest over here through our processing line and into a stack of chests over here. However, we do have quite a bit of change here. First, we have our Tesseract here, and we have an energy cell that receives power from our engines through this cell, so I can adjust the max output. That goes to our quarry. The quarry will dump into the Tesseract, which dumps into this chest, which gets sucked out by these 4 redstone engines on each side. So that should be able to keep up with the output from our quarry, just barely. But it goes through this first filter here. Will separate out the cobble, dirt, and gravel and store them in these caches. And these can store quite a significant amount of that item. This one right now has 120,000 cobblestone pieces in it, so it's almost full actually. But it goes, sends the stuff on over, does our same processing where any of our gravel can go into our little sag mill here, get turned into flint, and go up and get sorted and pulled out into our cache here, which then gets Ender IO piped into our other sag mills that actually process our ores, and those will come down into our actual alloy smelters to make those into our ingots that then come along this line here and go into our final bit of item sorting here. You can see all the diamond sorting pipes, and it'll sort it out by, you know, diamonds, redstone, copper, tin, lead. You got silver, gold, and iron. So anything that gets left over comes into these chests, such as obsidian. We got stone, we got some mossy stone and sand. So that stuff just kind of ends up in that overflow chest here. And we got all this over here because technically that would be our storage room upstairs. We still need to kind of clear out above here and lay all of that out, but it's all right here right now until we can get that project going. I did cut a hole in the back here and moved some of our switching over to this wall. We do have our little power meter here that controls our engines and turns them on when we're low on power for us, and it signals through all this Ender IO piping, and it also monitors the level of our capacitors. But the thing that I'm working on right now is something Turkenil actually brought up. He was talking about having a basically an infinite water bottle source, and the idea kind of intrigued me because it does require a little bit of ingenuity with how the current stuff works that we have available to us. And why is it not letting me mess with this? Oh, that's why. There we go. So basically what I'm trying to set up here is our infinite water bottles. We have our igneous extruder here, which is going to create cobblestone for us automatically. I'll just throw lava on one side, water on the other, and it collides them together like any other kind of cobblestone generator. It just does it inside of a machine here, so we don't have to pick out the cobblestone. And it'll feed it down into our next stage, which is what I was setting up behind there. We need a redstone as well. And then disconnect that. Now we're going to put a sag mill here so that we can pull that cobble out of our extruder. There we go. So now our cobble goes into our sag mill, which will turn it into sand and have a slight chance at gravel. And that is what this is for. Come to think of it, our stuff back here, we actually needed that filter for the front, not the back. So we'll put our power. That looked like it went to the wrong spot. So energy conduit and our redstone signaling. This needs that back. And this was green, brown, and blue. There we go. That corresponds to the colors here on the engines. So you can see green, brown, and blue. And then this is red. So we want to set this up to extract always. And it'll just pull right into there. We do need to set our item filter on that so that we're pulling out gravel. Let's go and grab a gravel so we can actually set that. Right. So now we'll extract gravel. It will go into here. Set up the IO on that to pull the gravel in there and push it out the back into this item conduit. And this goes in, and we can't get back there to see that. Terrible, terrible. There we go. We want to extract out signal. There. All right. There. Going in. We want another signal here. Probably there. So now we'll go into a smelter. This will turn it in from sand into glass, quite clear glass to be specific. Let's go ahead and pull. We're going to output here. That's going to go into cyclic assembler. We don't want to have that. So that will pull into there. And now we want it to come out the right side here. I'm going to need to build a schematic, which will allow me to just drop the quite clear glass in here, hit the check mark, and it'll automatically build glass bottles for me and dump into our last stage, which is a fluidic transposer here. So we want to bring the glass bottles into here. We're going to bring water in from the top. And we'll output our bottles. It's the standard orange to the right side. And I'm going to stick a cache right there. So let me go grab one of those. There we go. All right. So let me go ahead and build a reservoir to stick on top of our fluidic transposer there. And I'm going to also build some capacitors to go in these machines, and I'll be right back. So we went ahead and filled our reservoir and put a little bit of magma in here. So now we got our cobblestone generating. We upgraded the capacitors in the sag mill and the alloy here to these that are based on ender pearls, and so you can see how fast it's actually working now. And now we got our schematic in here, 3 blocks of glass to make our water bottles that fed into our transposer, and they end up in our cache. So once this gets somewhat full, we can go ahead and move this over to our brewing station, and all we need to do is just tap it with a crescent hammer to extract some water bottles out of it for use in brewing. So we're just going to let this run for quite a while, actually, since it's not really putting a huge drain on our power, since we have kind of looked at the power output from this, and it's only using maybe 4,000 RF per bottle. Well, per set of 3 bottles, actually. So, I think this is pretty efficient for us. But we do have our engines on. Well, fortunately, this won't be running all the time. Well, speaking of time, we are actually a little over time, so we better hurry up and finish. I thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please give it a like and subscribe so you can see when the next video comes out. We got some fun stuff out for that one. But definitely, thank you for watching. It's much appreciated, and we'll see you next time.